Here is the easiest way to make 3D animations. Stick around to the end of the video as I will give you a link to start animating for free. Polyup is a 3D animation software to make animations using built-in parts. I am going to show you a step-by-step guide on how you can animate in Polyup, from making the storyboard to animating it. I will also show an example of how I animated my previous video. So let's get started. First, you need to come up with an idea and plan it using a storyboard. Making a storyboard means creating a list of pictures or images describing the story. I use Google Slide and images from the web to quickly make and plan my storyboard with the timeline. But you can use any other software or draw it on paper as well. Next step is to write the script. Mention the dialogues, the scene, and the characters while doing the animations. I used Google Docs for this purpose, but as I said before, you can write it anywhere. Now that we have planned the animation, it's time to animate it in Polyup. But before that, we need to create an account. Go to tinyurl.com/joinpolyup and create an account. Then, to unlock the 3D objects to build your animation, you will need to solve some questions which you can find in the challenge tab. This process is very easy, but if you do face any problems or need some help, then check the videos on how to join Polyup in their YouTube channel. Once you have earned enough Polycoins, we can finally start animating. Click on the plus icon at the top of the web page to create a new machine. Machines are things built by other users that can be simulations, problems, and of course animations. Give a name for the machine and click create. The Polyup interface is very simple. There is a project setting bar on the top. When you click it, you can change some basic information like the name of the machine. There is also a switch to change the mode from beta to live. In beta mode, only those who have the link of the machine can view it. And in live mode, the entire community of your country can view the machine. There is also a share button to share the machine with others. At the bottom right, you can see a plus icon, and when you click it, it opens up a 3D part tray. You can search for 3D parts and also find it from these categories. At the end of the video, I will also tell you how you can expand this set of part libraries. You can unlock libraries by clicking on the unlock button. When you hover over a part, you get information about it. To bring an object to the scene, simply drag it over. To copy the object, drag it to this clipboard box and it will be saved to the clipboard. To paste it, simply drag it from the clipboard box. On each part, there are anchors, these red, blue and green colored things. To connect them to other parts, either by clicking on them or by dragging them. There are buttons for undo and redo as well. Finally, you have the XYZ arrows to move and rotate the object. Another way to move parts is by clicking on it and selecting this pop-up. It will show you a window like this, and you can change the position and rotation by changing the values. You can also change the color and size of the object. When you go to this tab, you can also control whether you want to lock the part or not. Locking a part means to disable moving or rotating it with anchors. To move or pan across the screen, drag the left mouse button or use one finger. And to turn the view of the screen around, drag the right mouse button or use two fingers on mobile. To zoom in and out, use the scroll wheel or pinch using two fingers. Now that you have learned how to use the interface, I am going to show you the first step in animating, creating the scenes. Based on the storyboard images, try building a scene. I used the terrain library for building my scene, which was a Japanese themed forest. To start making the scene, I usually add a base or the ground. And to do that, I use this flat tile block, scale it to 200 and lock it so that I don't accidentally keep moving it. After adding the base, you can make the scenery. For a forest, I suggest using the terrain library, and for making a city, you can make the houses using the Enphase or Solar library, and the roads using the Polycity library. One cool tip is to add animals to your scene using the animal library, and I will show you how to animate them later in the video. Now that you have your scene ready, it's time to make the characters. I use the character library for this and made the body parts using simple geometric parts from the uCube library. To animate parts in Polyup, you need to use chips. Don't worry if it sounds hard, I will try to explain you in a simple way. Out of all the chips, there are two basic chips that are important. The turtle chip that executes whatever you have entered into the chip, and the engine chip that repeats the instructions again and again forever. When you add a chip to Polyup, you get this power button that starts running all the chips. Let's first see how we use the turtle chips for animation. Here you will see the face of Poly and a taskbar. In Polyup, you can add blocks or instructions above Poly's face to do something. The space above Poly's head, where you can add blocks, is called the stack. You can add stacks to the side of Poly as well and give them names, delete them, move them around, or even hide them for other players. In the chip, Poly first runs his stack, and to run the other stacks, you have to drag them like this into Poly's stack. You can also make loops by putting a stack in the stack itself. Also, you can loop the entire chip by just putting Poly's stack in his stack. I hope you understood this since it is very important. Now, let's see the blocks in Polyup. For animation, you will need only these four sets of blocks: the numbers, operators, movements, and part blocks. The numbers and operators can be used to create numbers. However, to do operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, you need to put two numbers on top of the side. The reason it is like this is because this same format is very helpful while using the movement blocks. These two sets of blocks should be pretty straightforward. So now let's move on to the next set of blocks, the movement blocks and the part blocks. The movement blocks that have a white background like this take a number as input and moves or rotates based on the value. The forward, backward, left and right blocks moves the object that this chip has been placed on by a certain number of value. The rotate left, right, pitch up, down and right, turn left or right blocks take the input as an angle. The blocks that have a green background take a block name and a value as the input and does something. To know more about each of these blocks in detail, drag it to a stack, click it, and click the help icon to know more about it in Polypedia. By combining these movements, you can make all sorts of animation. The camera is a very important tool as it helps to view the scene at any angle you want. You can animate this too for a cinematic effect. For example, this scene shows the camera zooming out, and here is how I did it. Now place the chips on the parts you want to animate and add the blocks in the chips. Here is an example of a fish jumping in and out of the lake in a circular motion. This is the chip I used. Based on the storyboard and script, animate each of these scripts in Polyup and record it using a recording software like OBS Studio. Now it's time to edit it into one final masterpiece. I use DaVinci Resolve for making the videos and it is completely free. In DaVinci Resolve, go to the Edit tab and add all the videos to the timeline. You can trim them very easily like this. And to crop videos, click on this option and select Crop. Then you can drag the handles to crop it. Also, after you cropped your video, you can also transform it, that is make it bigger or smaller by clicking on this option. You can also add music to your video if you want. Just drag the music file into a new layer like this. Once you're done, you can click the play button to preview it. And if you're happy with it, go to the file and quick export to save it. Now that you have learned how to animate in 3D, what are you waiting for? Go to tinyurl.com/joinpolyup to get started. And also make sure to join the Polyup Innovation Hub and our team before December 12th to get all sorts of prizes using the Polycoins you earn. I hope you like this video and thanks for watching.